Kenya is a nation of abundance of talent, innovation, and aspiration. But beneath the surface of a growing economy lies an unseen leak.
Kenya has potential to become even number 4 largest economy in Africa in the short term. The bigger challenge, as I said, is leadership, prioritization of how we grade our priorities. Which one comes after what? And I tend to believe that we need to go a bit low in terms of spending too much resources. Resources in terms of money, resources in terms of human power for the people who are employed by the Kenyan people. We go lower in managing politics, and we go all out in managing the economy.
Every year, billions escape through hidden channels, silently draining the resources needed to build the nation's future.
Illicit financial flows mean money that is earned, transferred, or utilized illegally. Money that is illegally obtained, but it is utilized, transferred, or earned illegally, and especially is used across the border. So it involves cross-border movement of capital.
When people talk about illicit financial flows,
yes,
what comes to mind is usually money coming in.
Yes.
But the bigger tragedy for the economy is what is called illicit financial outflow, not inflow. It's even worse. Because it's illicit first because the money is not legitimate, or how you've gotten the money is not legitimate. That's why the name illicit is there. But the flow then, when you have made money that you cannot explain, it brings the urgency to take it out. So that now leads to an outflow of money. Why does that happen? As the economy grows, wealth stops being possessions. Wealth starts being capital. Now, for wealth to be capital, in most of the cases, it needs to be legitimized. So when you have money you cannot legitimize, the wealth only becomes possession, what you own. But it is shades off from becoming capital, from becoming money that can enable other things. So that's the stark difference. That when you have money here, a lot of it, you can't explain it, you want it out.
This is the story of illicit financial flows and the fight to strengthen domestic resource mobilization. Illicit financial flows, or IFF, refer to money that is illegally earned, transferred, or used across borders. In Kenya, these flows take many forms.
Capital can take 3 forms or components. There's the commercial bit, there is the criminal activities, and then there is the fraud or theft of public funds. Now, the commercial bits takes place in forms of trade misinvoicing. I will explain what that means. There is also the other part which takes place or takes the form of transfer pricing, and then there is the part that takes place or takes the form of what is called embezzlement in terms of refunds, applications, and what have you. The criminal bit takes the forms of money laundering, proliferation financing, terrorism financing, drug trafficking, human trafficking, okay? And then there is the theft and embezzlement of funds takes the forms of bribery and of course misuse of public offices.
According to estimates from African and global financial watchdogs, Kenya loses hundreds of billions of shillings annually through illicit flows.
Why illicit flows is a significant matter currently is because the country is losing between 300 and 600 billion Kenya shillings annually. And that is almost 10% to 12% of the GDP. Now, the effect of that is, number one, there is a loss of revenue. And when there is loss of revenue, then the country is not able to work optimally.
For a developing nation, this loss is not just financial, it is personal.
One of the effects of illicit financial flows is that it hampers public service delivery. So that we find that now when you go to school, those schools or the education centers are not able to receive their money in good time, or they are not able to receive adequate money that can help them to run their activities. That's one of the effects. So hampering of public service delivery. Again, that is witnessed in the health sector. That is also witnessed in the infrastructure. We have infrastructural projects that the country ambitiously is looking to do, but they can't just do them. So one of the effects is that it hampers public service delivery. The second effect is that it is promoting poverty and inequality. Like I have said, this money is just in the hands of elite. Majority are languishing in poverty. They are not able to get this money. Okay? The other effect on the common man is security. When this illicit money goes out and lands in the hands of terrorists, when they come here and cause insecurity, it is the mama mboga down there, the border guy who is not able to get the confidence and guarantee that he can operate whatever he's doing normally without interruption. And number two, he's also risking his life.
We also need not overburden Kenyans even further. Let me cite what I mean. Mm-hmm. The road from Nakuru will help the entire western part of Kenya, from Nairobi to Nakuru, the expansion. That road was to be built before for Kenyans to use without paying. Now, that has been changed. Now, beyond the Kenyan who pays KRI, the same Kenyans who pays pay, the same Kenyans pays fuel levy. Now, he already pays those three to guarantee them public amenities, including a road. Then, on top of paying your rightful share of taxes, then you are told to enjoy a public good, you have to pay. Those kind of things, like overburdening Kenyans with more payments, is not the way to build the economy. Mm-hmm. The road from here, Nairobi to Nakuru, should be expanded.
Illicit financial flows are not inevitable. They thrive in silence, but weaken under scrutiny.
For us to prevent the issue of IFFs, you will realize that there are areas that have been classified as wet areas. These are areas that actually there is what we are calling regulations is a bit weak. And I can tell you one of the areas that are giving us a big headache is in the real estate. The real estate is becoming a big problem because the regulations in those real estate, remember most of the real estate development are being done by the private parties, the private persons, and rarely do we go on to ask them where are they getting the fundings. Are they getting fundings from the banks? And if they are getting from the banks, to what level or to how much? Mm-hmm. So that is one big area. And then we have got also professionals that of late they have been weak in terms of doing reporting. And I will quote, for example, we have got professional bodies that we may be calling upon like LSK. There is need for us to regulate those professional bodies so that now they are able now also to be made reporting line in terms of IFFs and other professional bodies as well. The accountants who are actually reviewing our books every now and then, are they making reports on IFFs or they are not? So those are now areas that we are saying they are providing a very wet area for inflows and outflows. And then we also have got the procurement regulatory body, also another area that if we are able now to have very tight rules and guidelines on providing on how they should be able to be reporting on that, then I think then we'll be able now to handle that. The strategic plan provides for us that we need to do a recovery around 4.1 billion. And since the beginning of the year, with the coming in of the new CEO, the recovery rate as we are talking today is around 5.8 billion. A clear indicator that the CEO is actually making is making asset recovery, asset tracing and recovery as his main focus area. And that has been able now to advance, and we can be able now to see how even before the end of the financial year, we already have 5.8 billion that we have recovered. All this we have given back to the consolidated funds at the National Treasury. Mm-hmm. And there are even properties that we have recovered on behalf of the government that is being used, for example, for the government main projects, mm-hmm. the affordable housing. We have just recovered we have recovered land along Mombasa Road that is going to have over 3,187 families that will be domiciled within that property. And the government is putting up affordable housing in that area. Mm-hmm. These are just some of the many properties that we have recovered across the country, and we are continuing to do more recoveries. We have got more cases that we have filed in court, and we hope that the judiciary also plays their their part in good time.
With stronger institutions, transparent systems, and empowered citizens, Kenya can mobilize the resources it needs to transform its future.
The issues of IFFs is a big issue to the country, and not only to Kenya, but also to the international world. And it actually attracts several issues when it comes to domestic resource mobilization. And if you realize in the last few years, Kenya has been grey-listed because of the IFFs. And IFFs, when we are talking about IFFs, we are talking about either inflow that is coming from outside as well as money that is going outside. And when we are talking about this money, illicit financial flows that are going outside the country, most of it you will find that the source of it is basically resources that are coming from the government coffers and are being taken to the tax havens. Now, what does that implication has to do with our domestic market? It means that we are actually having a drainage of the resources that should have been used in the country, and they are being taken to those other jurisdictions. Now, we have got issues when these resources get to the other jurisdictions. And as you have alluded to it, is that there are two ways in which we can either follow money that has gone out of the country, or even those other countries follow money that has come into the country. And that there is an act that has been put in place called the Mutual Legal Assistance Act. And in the Mutual Legal Assistance Act, it brings us how do we process the information and documentation that is outside our jurisdiction, or what the people that are outside can be able now to access from here. And I agree with you, it is a very tedious process, it is time consuming, and by the time you are getting that information as the evidential value to you to even come to court, there are a lot of serious issues that are raised by lawyers in terms of the chain of custody as well as how the matter was handled. And at times they even require witnesses to come from other jurisdictions to come and testify before a court. Now, that being the lengthy process gives us a very hard time as law enforcement.
For anything, I mean, Kenya is even, I think we have more laws than we need. What makes this kind of things work is goodwill, and usually political goodwill. If there is goodwill from the leadership, even the laws are made in parliament, and they can be made to happen when there is goodwill. The second thing is the sanctity of institutions, that has the responsibility to look after public resources, so that we seal those any loophole that necessitates an outflow of money that is especially not gotten in the most straightforward manner. So laws are there, they can always be strengthened, but goodwill supersedes the presence of the laws. To be done is for us to have a direction of where we are headed, and that direction is usually shepherded by the leadership of the country by that point in time, so that people can read signals. Leadership is more about signaling. Signaling means when, for example, I'm MP for Kiharu, and my CDF chairman realizes there is something I do to get something out of CDF, they take cue. So we need to also think about that in terms of Kenya, so that all of us who are in leadership can do our best in our level, so that we also signal to every other person that the country is headed in this direction. Otherwise, there is room for improvement.
Every shilling saved, every loophole sealed.
Part of the government has done well. We now have got almost 3 statutes in relation to issues that are dealing with IFFs. We have got the POCAMLA that is already in place. We have got the conflict of interest that has just been passed the other day. We also have got the Virtual Assets Act that has been now put in place. So all this is a clear indicator that the government is working towards reduction of IFFs and actually now stabilizing the market. The power lies in the multi-agency approach because the issues that are emanating from the IFFs is basically on issues to do with procurement irregularities, corruption, and all that has to do with the IFFs. But we are saying if you are able to have a multi-agency approach, then we'll be able now to have a stronger position as a country, stronger position as an agency, so that we can be able now to bring in other players, including the Financial Reporting Center, including the Kenya Bankers Association. We are bringing in Kenya Revenue Authority. We are bringing in the DCI and the National Police Service. We are bringing in all the players that are involved in the financial sector, so that we are able to deal comprehensively with the issues of IFFs. So that multi-agency approach is what is needed. And once we have that, because we already have regulations and laws that actually now stipulate on how to deal with them, then I think then we'll be able now to have a very stable market, that we are able even to get resources from within, other than looking for those resources from outside, so that our economy can be able to stabilize.
Every citizen empowered. This is how Kenya secures its destiny, one honest step at a time.